Hi, this is Dana. Welcome on my channel where I speak about spiritual warfare. In this video, guys, I'm guided to go back on different concepts and talk about, let's say, forgiveness in general and how forgiveness fits in with spiritual warfare concepts, right? And here I will touch again upon the those individuals who do cloaking, and I will give a personal example so you will understand a little bit better what I'm talking about when I refer to undeserved forgiveness. Please remember that all these concepts are hidden knowledge. The fake knowledge put out there about spirituality is meant to preclude you to understand this. It took me very long time and lots of fights and betrayals, facing a lot of betrayals in order to understand these issues. I've been through a lot of turmoil and hardship as a consequence. I actually literally been through hell because of this. So this is divine wisdom experienced by myself, tested by myself, learned through very hard spiritual fighting, and I am sharing it with you in the hope that it will help you to achieve uh, success while avoiding to go through the same type of experience, negative experiences. Now, um, when you talk about somebody who has done cloaking in any way, kind, shape, or form, you are talking about somebody who has willingly took upon himself or herself darkness. There are individuals who believe and practice this, namely taking in entities, darkness, demons, Satan, other forms of forces, of dark forces. And they do this in order to have the power to do harm to others. There is no dark force that comes to you to help you do good, period. So the second when you um, work with any form of darkness, you are aiming to do harm on others, period. I don't care about intentions, what intentions you have. I don't care about the delusions you hold. I don't care about the confusion you are in. The bottom line is there is no dark force that comes to you to help you do good, even if you're delusional enough to imagine that. There is no way you can actually take in dark force and control it. That is a delusion. You cannot. That force will allow you to believe that you can control it and you can snap out of it and back work with it as you like. But in fact, it's only luring you in to take more and more, gradually more power over you until you have no power um, to face it, to fight it. And this is how you become addicted and you lose total control over your senses, over your desires, over your principles, values, and who you are. Okay, this is a process of falling. All of this is part of a process of falling. Now, when you deal with one individual who has been doing this and going through this falling, um, of course you may face different type of relation, you may face different type of betrayals going back and forth. Now, what you must understand, when you deal with these people, you actually are dealing with the dark force which they took in. So when you want to give any kind of help, healing, forgiveness, love and light, whatever you want to give to that individual, you actually are engaging with the dark force which they called and took upon themselves with their own free will. This is why that force has so much power. Okay? So when you extend forgiveness to that individual, no matter how you do it, um, no matter how much you want to be either to rescue them, to help them, or you just simply sometimes you just think, I'm just going to be a good human being. This individual has done harm on me, but I'm not going to hate him now. I'm just going to move on, giving forgiveness like everybody keeps saying in a very fake knowledge put out there, and move on. That's not possible. And I will explain to you why. Because that individual harbors a darkness which is possessing him, because he, by free will, ask that dark force to come and take power over him. So that individual doesn't have power over that force. It's the other way around. So when you engage with that individual, no matter what you want to give, even if you want to give just a Reiki healing, even if you want to give some wisdom, or just some, I don't know, a shoulder to cry on, or a friendly relation, or a decent human relation, this is not possible, because you're not talking with a human. You're talking with the dark force which is resides within them. This is an Astra rule. You must understand. Once the darkness claims someone, no matter what kind of engagement you have with that person, even if just a dialogue, it is that force who has total power and acts in his name over you. And I have numerous experiences in this. And the key to succeed in spiritual fighting in this sort of interaction is to cut it off, and to know exactly when to cut it off so it won't take power over you. And I'll give you one example which I mentioned in the previous video, namely that in the beginning of 2018, God has started showing me illegal things being done in astral realm by these secret societies in order to make claims over individuals, to steal their rights, their power, and so on. And as I said in the previous video, my first reaction was, this is not fair, this is not acceptable. There shouldn't be allowed. This shouldn't be allowed. There should be some sort of, first of all, a structure which forbids them to do this, a structure which punishes them once they start doing it, and the same structure to help the people who are not aware of this being done against them, so that was my first reaction. And God encouraged me to work on this, to start creating this structure, to start creating, and I started, of course, to create, like a plan of management, a structure, with different. I actually even wrote on Facebook, on my Facebook. I think it was in 2019 when I wrote about the karmic board meeting. I wrote a petition in which I asked also some of these structures to be formally created, because I thought at the time, it is not fair for me as an individual to keep watching for someone to destroy me, to kill me, to steal from me. This is not a normal environment and energy to live in. So I said, we are here to create. We should focus on creation, and there should be some sort of structures which do this, which make justice, which stops them from doing this to innocent individuals. It is not normal now, 2018, Father God, that you tell me that there are 49 individuals who claimed me, and based on fake claims at me, illegal claims at me, they stole my rights, because I never met most of these individuals. And this is not normal that they dare to do this, and they make an entire industry of selling contracts and wedding vows, and we have no clue about it. And even the church itself is involved in doing this on people. So this is craziness. I go to church to pray, and the priest is selling my wedding vows. He believes that my presence in his church is gives him legitimacy to sell my vows to different individuals, which use darkness to steal my rights, my gifts, and so on. This is not normal. We shouldn't be living in a state of fear and mistrust of each other. There should be justice done. So God said, yeah, that's exactly my wish. You go ahead and conceive such a plan, my dear, which I did. And I worked on that a lot. And this is when the biggest attacks started at me by these secret societies and individuals associated with them. And I created this center of rescue, which I said there would have focused on three different paths. One would have been to enforce justice, to make sure to punish these individuals, and to make justice and help give assistance to those who have been unjustly harmed and so on. And when I worked on this, I advanced in my work with God and Jesus to create this structure, and to create. God was showing me all sorts of works of darkness, of all sorts of ways in which they create these claims on people, and I was in the process of identifying different ways in which to counter that, like stealing identity in Astral, and I was saying, there should be a detector which basically runs off an alarm when somebody else uses another individual's identity. It is not normal for me to keep watching everywhere if somebody is stealing my identity through my energy and speaking in my name, creating holograms with my image and saying things or doing things, promiscuous things in my name, just because I didn't accept to do it, because God was showing this to me. They wanted you to do these promiscuous things because you refused, rejected even interaction with them. Then they created copycats of you, which agreed in your name to do this. And now they transfer the karma of those actions to you. I'm like, this is stupid. You cannot act in my name and then I have to pay for the sins you have done. This is crazy. And so I was creating all sorts of mechanisms in which justice will be automatically done, innocently believing at that time that this can happen, that there should be a structure which automatically should create justice, and so individuals do not have to live in mistrust, in a state of mutual suspicion, in a state. I said, this is not a creative environment. This is not possible for us to do this. Anyhow, as I was working on that with God and Jesus, um, different individuals from my past, right, started uh, searching for me, asking for, saying, as I said in the previous video, we admire what you do. We were forced into doing these things because we were part of this structure and part of this institution, and this institution asked us, and this politician asked us to do this, and they were blackmailing, and they were doing this to us, and they were doing this. So innocently enough, although I didn't want to have anything to do with them in personal relations, so I was not willing to accept them back in my life. I believed, keep in mind, these were individuals who made contracts on me before, right? So they already betrayed me before. So I said, okay, I'm not willing to accept them back into my life, but I can preserve human decent relations. I can give forgiveness. God will judge and punish whoever needs to be punished. It is not my place to do this, right? That was a very big mistake I made. And I said, okay, because you already have knowledge of what is being done wrong, you are the first ones who should be part of these structures by giving full description of the illegal things being done and coming up with solutions. Because I imagine once you create this, you know also how to nullify whatever is being created and how to protect people, right? So I imagined, and I said, if you do this, you can work within these structures, this center of rescue, and this will be your chance for redemption and working with God. So you will actually gain back your power and to not be punished as harshly for those facts, because you will do a good thing for the humankind by helping making justice for others, and nullifying all this darkness work in the world. Um, so, in a nutshell, because we already at 15 minutes, I will say that essentially they just took the advantage of that, and they created strings on me, and they created even more attacks. They actually used that opportunity to create witchcraft. They created fake, untruthful declarations, and they created judgment within the structure. So essentially, I didn't claim justice and judgment from God against them, but they created untruthful declarations about me, and they went within their secret societies and they requested judgment on me because I'm fighting against them, because I'm fighting against those structures of secret societies. And they started doing, they created the surprise attack, which happened in June 2018. And they I cannot explain to you how much darkness they placed on me. They used technology, psychotronic weapons. They used dark magic. They used sorcery, necromancy, everything on the face of the planet. And they actually said to me, we did this to take your power because you had too much power. And these are the people against whom, and God, as I was in the phase where I couldn't enter my house, I couldn't stay in my house because of how much darkness work was done on me and my house. I went to church and I prayed and I talked to God. I said, what is going on? Why is this happening? How come this happens? And because I just couldn't understand how come all of the sudden, the balance of power shifted, and they have so much power in their attacks at me. And God said, this is because you gave undeserved forgiveness. This is because you should have just kept your distance. You knew these people betrayed you. I taught you, I showed you how they betrayed you. I taught you to ask judgment and punishment on them. We started working on the center. And then you forgot about that. And once they came to you and they lied to you that they're not guilty, that you, instead of you claiming again judgment from God to make justice and to clearly show if they are honest or not in the apologies they're making, you accepted them to work with you at your project. So they stole your project, they created untruthful declarations on you, and they started working with darkness against you. So they betrayed you again. And this is only because you gave them undeserved forgiveness. That was heartbreaking to me because I was just trying to be a decent human being. And I was not even thinking of accepting any one of them back into my life. I was just thinking of them having an honest chance to redemption. I didn't realize I'm not the one to decide on their redemption and if they're ready for redemption. I didn't realize this must be a complete cutoff, and you cannot even have minimum empathy towards them, because God has shown me then later on, as I was fighting and trying to heal from this, God was showing me every time you talk to them, there's Satan talking back to you and taking power over you. There is no way for you to have a dialogue direct with them until they do their work to get rid of that darkness. There is not your place to decide who gets to do redemption, because there are certain criteria which have to be met to do redemption. So my position on this topic, which I have been expressing very often, is that you do not give forgiveness to anyone because you don't have all the information. You do not know if they are truthful or not in that moment when they come to you. You do not know what other harm they have done to other individuals, how deep they are fallen, and how deep they went into harming others. You do not know many things. Even no matter how much dialogue you have with God, God will only show you what God decides to show you. You will never know everything about someone unless God decides that you should know that. So once you claim justice, you should continue on that path, cut that connection, because that's the only chance they have to redemption. Otherwise, they are being possessed by a darkness which they cannot fight. As long as they have a supply, as long as they have access to you, that darkness to which they sold contracts on you by doing sacrifice rituals, death rituals, and so on, will always have power over them, because this is a deal they made. You cannot give forgiveness. You just can't. If you truly want to help them, you cannot give forgiveness. Or if you at least want to help yourself, you cannot give forgiveness. It is undeserved until they reach a certain level of spiritual fighting. And it's not for you to decide when that level was reached. It is for God. This is why redemption is done between them and God. You have no place in that. You have no role in that. And you shouldn't want to, because they're only going to drag you down. There is, and this will be probably the title I will put, there is a betrayal embedded in undeserved forgiveness. So when you give undeserved forgiveness, the betrayal is instant. And this doesn't even depend on them. It's already embedded in the deal they made with Satan when they worked with darkness. So the best thing you can do for an individual in order to reach redemption is to cut him off. The best thing you can do for yourself, if you don't want to lose everything you gain through spiritual fighting, if you don't want to lose power, if you don't want to lose your path and your connection to God, is to just cut them off. Cut them off and understand that you must let go of individuals. If there is if there is God's will, so you will ever meet again, the two of you will cross paths in the future at some point, but at a point when it's safe for both of you. But going back and forth, it's only gonna drag you down or keep you blocked. That's the only thing that will do. It will not help you, and it will definitely not help them either. And I say again, this was one of the harshest lessons I learned. And God actually said, I came for you specifically to teach you to claim justice, judgment, and punishment. I taught you this. And then we started working together on that center. And instead of you keeping your distance from them, as I taught you, you gave undeserved forgiveness to them instead of cutting them off. That was not your place. That was not your decision to make if you wanted to continue walking your path. Otherwise, now you will learn that lesson, but the hard way. You will learn that lesson the hard way. And it was the hard way. It's been 4 years now since I keep fighting, and they're still attacking, they're still doing. Their falling has been deeper since then. I have been through hell and back numerous times. And I don't even want to get into the consequences of that. But there is, this is the lesson that you must understand, and I hope everyone who's making choices will understand. There is betrayal, instant betrayal, embedded in the forgiveness. This is why I kept emphasizing you must transmute. You shouldn't think of forgiveness. It's not your place to make forgiveness. The today's world, the degree of darkness and the degree to which individuals chose to fall into darkness is so intense that there is no way you can give forgiveness to anyone and still be in a safe place. Any kind of forgiveness will drag you down. This is why today's or the current era's focus should be on transmutation. And this is the most important thing you can do, both for yourself and for those individuals. I really hope I made myself clear. Please go back and watch my videos on transmutation and also on silent meditation and light body meditation. Those are prerequisites in order to be able to do an effective transmutation. I really, really hope that you understand the correct correctly where I come from when I keep saying you shouldn't give forgiveness. I am not willing to give forgiveness. I am not willing to engage with these individuals, not even for a basic polite discussion, for not even for apologizing for anything, for anything. It costed me too much when I wanted to extend just a human, decent empathy and chance for them to redeem. One of them, actually, at the time in 2018, was facing trial in a court of law. And it wasn't decided what's going to happen with him. And on him specifically, I even told him, although he was very guilty against towards me, he has done so much harm to me at that time and betrayals. And I specifically told him at the time, I will not call judgment and punishment on you, because I don't want to feel guilty for you going to jail. I don't want to know that the betrayals you have done towards me sent you to jail. God, I'm pretty sure, will make justice for me, but I don't want to tip the balance now in your life, so you will actually go to prison because of what wrongs you have done on me. Although he has done much wrong, many betrayals, and so on. But I said, I just don't want to live with that on my conscience, knowing that I put you in jail, because I knew he has done so much harm to me that if I claim judgment and punishment on him, then he will go to prison, you know. So I said, I don't want to have that on my conscience, you know, and I will not claim judgment and punishment on you. He was the one who created the attack in June 2018 at me. And that was an extremely powerful attack. And it costed me a lot. As I alluded to a few times, it costed me becoming homeless in spite of being owner of my own home. I couldn't stay in my house. I had to leave my house for a full year and the country because I couldn't stay alive, even because there were so many death spells and witchcraft and satanic rituals done on me of sacrifice and so on. And so I'm telling you from experience, and although I didn't explain here all my life, please believe me that I do know what I'm talking about, and that I experienced what it means when I tell you you shouldn't give any kind of forgiveness. You should just cut off. You should just move on. This is not the time for you to give any kind of empathy or any kind of chance to anyone, because God has this role. God will work with them, and God will know how to work with them. It is not your place to do it. It will drag you down or it will block you. Personally, I'm not willing to be blocked. I'm not willing to be dragged down. I'm not willing to put up with this kind of unjust things done at me. I am fully determined to take advantage of my new beginning. I'm not giving any kind of forgiveness. I'm not even allowing them to apologize. I'm not even allowing them to even come across me and talk to me. I don't want to see them. I don't want to talk to them. They had numerous chances in the last 4 years to stop doing this. They are doing it even now. So I really will not give any kind of chance to this kind of individuals, to any individuals who have done wrong on me, because I know the price I paid when I tried to be a decent human being with them. I'm going to stop here. I hope I explained everything related to this topic. I hope you people understand exactly where I come from and the depth of knowledge and first-hand experience which I have with these things. These are not advices which I give lightly. These are advices which I give from a deeply, deeply traumatizing experience, excruciating pains, and extremely dangerous situations in which I have been, in which I must say this, and this will be my last point, in which God himself was fearful And God himself was like, don't get out of the house today. And I would ask why. And God would simply say that he's too scared. The danger is too grave, and I could die, basically. And he showed me they killed you in previous lifetimes in this circumstance. It's not the first time when they try to kill you. So you don't know what is behind all of this. The safest way for you is to just move on. Do not give any kind of forgiveness. They entangle themselves with darkness so much that is too dangerous for you, and is not helpful for them. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I hope this is helpful.